the members of the Order of the Pelican present themselves to their Majesties, Uther and Kenna.
Noble Order of the Pelican. Myself and our radiant queen placed Cormac the Bald on vigil this morning. He was to go to that vigil to contemplate the meanings of peerage, the meanings of responsibility to the kingdom and to the society. I ask you, the right and noble Order of the Pelican, has this been accomplished?
Excellent.
Cormac the Bald, come before their Majesties, Glenavon.
Cormac, the right order noble of the Pelican, has come to us, Uther and Kenna, King and Queen of Glenavon under the eyes of God, and has recommended that we are honored and privileged to elevate you to their order. Is it your wish to do so?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Cormac, this decision is not one that we take lightly. A peer in this realm must be knowledgeable, must share this knowledge, must be a master of service. His prowess must be strong, and he must represent this kingdom to the best of his ability.
Yet, here in this kingdom, while the right noble Order of the Pelican that I see standing around us is the voice of service and reason, we rely not just upon their opinions. There are others in this room that we would hear from. Is there in this room a member of the noble and powerful Order of the Laurel that would speak for this man?
Your Majesty, I would. I am Mistress Gwyneth Clark, companion of the Order of the Laurel. The arts and sciences of this society are province of my order. Today, I would speak about this man's artistic skills. The arts in our society are more than simple physical objects, or A&S competition, pretty clothing, or really cool, awesome stuff. They're more than a play or a bardic performance or a choir. The arts in our society touch on far more than that. Our arts are the outward manifestation of our shared endeavor, our dream made real. Beauty, inspiration, a sense of wonder, these are all aspects of art. Now, Cormac will tell you he's not particularly beautiful. He'll say that the only sense of wonder he could possibly inspire is to wonder, what the heck is he doing here? He will certainly say he has no artistic skill. things countless times. He will surely say them again. But don't believe him. Cormac makes beautiful, simple things. His jewelry and chains are made from the simplest materials, yet capture his love for creation. These objects, beautiful as they are not his true art. Cormac's true art is in his words. If we recognized a peerage for being plain spoken, Cormac would be the principal of that order. But his straightforward, even blunt speech comes from the heart as he seeks to bring out the best in those around him. And those around him respond. And the society is a better place for it. Cormac's artworks are not just physical objects, but the hearts and minds of the people of this kingdom. When I look around this room, I see this man's work, and I am stunned by its beauty. The arts also inspire. And this is where Cormac truly excels. His great gift is to look at a person not as what they are, but what they can become. And he challenges each one of us to look at our supposed limits and to take a step beyond, and then take a step beyond that. Inspiration is also the aspect of Cormac's art that touches my own SCA experience most deeply. There are many stories of Cormac's ability to inspire others, probably as many or more as there are people in this room. Earlier this year, before Gulf Wars, Cormac gave my husband Martin a chain. This was not just any chain. Cormac had come to me and told me that he had made several chains, special knights chains, that he had made and given to knights that inspired him or that he admired. He said that although Martin was not yet a knight, he wanted him to have the chain because Martin was a knight in his eyes. That chain inspired a confidence and strength in my husband that I never, ever could have given him, ever. At a time when he truly needed that inspiration. It was a tangible reminder for him that there was at least one person outside his immediate circle of family and friends who saw him as a knight. It was something he could take out and look at when times got tough, and he thought he might never reach his goal. And there were certainly those times. Though he might have you believe otherwise, Cormac is a romantic at heart. He carries with him an infectious sense of wonder and purpose. It's simply not possible to spend any time with him and not be caught up in it. For those of us who have been in the society for a number of years, it's so easy to forget that sense of amazement and awe that we all had when we were newcomers. But Cormac hasn't forgotten. Talking with him, the years slip away, and I can once again see the society that I first came to know over 20 years ago. A society full of beauty, inspiration, wonder. When I look at Cormac's art, I see all of these things. I see his extraordinary skill at his chosen art of service. He is my equal and a peer of his skill.
Thank you, Mr. Cormac. Your words are well received.
Thank you.
I believe that there was a letter written by another member of the Noble Order of Laurel.
Yes. I'm Via Roberti. Mistress Kenna could not be here, and I'm honored to have been asked to read this letter from her. As the autocrat of who knows how many events, Cormac has often asked me to create the tokens, the ambassador flyer, or whatever else his event is in need of artistic-wise. However, whenever these requests came forth, they were accompanied by a generous amount of work time in the most polite and thoughtful manner I have ever seen. He was organized, he is easy to work with, and most importantly, he always follows through with his intentions. Along with these various projects, he would also often ask me to create little gifts for the people who helped him and paid for them out of his own pocket. In my experiences, he has always shown the utmost appreciation and consideration for everyone who has helped him. I think he is a true gentleman. I think he is one of the pillars of our barony. I think he will be a fantastic addition to the Order of the Pelicans. And on this day, I want to let him know I also think of him as my peer.
The words of our Noble Order of Laurel carry much weight with us. Yet there are others that we would hear from, Cormac. Is there a member of the royal family, a royal peer who would speak for this man?
I am Countess Morgana. Yes. I'm a Lady of the Rose and the Pelican. I speak to you today as a Lady of the Rose. When Duchess Lennet asked me to speak for my friend, I tried to think back the first time I met Cormac. Couldn't. Because it seems that Cormac has always been a part of my life in the SCA. We've worked many troves at Gulf War until the watch and security lured him away with an exciting nightlife. Golf cart. Through all of this time, this man, whether it be his event or someone else's, tried to make sure that everyone had a wonderful time. He would just feel the need, see a problem, correct it, and make it happen. With your Grace's permission, I have a letter from my late husband, who could not be here today. I've not read this, so this is, it may come upon us all. Greetings, dear friends. It is only distance in the fact that Morgana says I'm not allowed in the state of Arkansas. That keeps me from being here in person to celebrate this special day with you. You have always worked to make sure that everyone is taken care of and fenced. If something needed to be done, you just jumped in to make sure it was taken care of so that we all had an enjoyable time. You have always been my friend. You have always been dedicated to the dream, and I offer my sincere congratulations to you on this very special day. Know that I celebrate this day with you from afar. You are my peer. Congratulations and best wishes. I for DeLester bearing in the court of Glenavon. My Lord husband is a wise man. God knows why he keeps me around. But I have to say to you, I echo his words. You have always been my peer, and today the known world knows it as well as I do. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being an inspiration. And thank you for the man that you are. And I thank you for the father.
I believe that there was a letter sent.
Back up!
From Her Excellency Viscount Brenna. Viscountess, reprised by James.
Greetings to your Royal Majesties, your Highnesses, peers, and populace. I'm Viscountess Brenna.
Don't abuse crown now.
As many of you may know, my health has not been the best, and I've been leery of appearing publicly because of all the embarrassing physical changes my body's undergone. Let's just say it's a woman's change of life. My voice has gotten deeper, and I have some disturbing issues with some facial hair. I know I look good. And it's only for my dearest Cormac that I would chance and endure public ridicule and stand before you. It is my duty and honor to speak on behalf of one of the kindest, hard-working, loyal, honorable, and generous souls I've ever had the pleasure to meet and call friend. Cormac leads and teaches by stellar example and embodies those qualities I most admire in a peer, for he is surely courageous, merciful, sincere, and honest. He is my equal, and more, he is a peer of Glenavon. Oh, and lest we forget his best quality, he loves him some Brenna. This means that he has fantastic taste and is a great judge of character. Back up!
And she's such a delicate.
Yes. The thoughts and the feelings of Viscountess Brenna are well received and well heard. Yet, highest upon the councils that we listen to are those past dukes and duchesses of this kingdom. Those who have served this kingdom with their heart and their life's blood. Cormac and Honora, do you wish to speak?
How am I supposed to call it that nonsense? I have no idea what you're talking about, Your Majesty.
That's a train wreck. I think this may come as a shock, Your Majesty, but I actually have worked with this man. There was a time not far gone when he said, Henry, if for some day some strange thing were happening, I was actually ever elevated, would you and Honora speak for me? Well, apparently he's been getting around. Because I see a long line of people that we have to wait for just to come up here and speak with. I don't need some brother too. But come on.
I'm out.
Your Majesty, as you have seen the work of this man's hand, he also gifted me one of these wonderful nice chains. And I had no idea why. Just out of the goodness of his heart, where I thought he was trying to bribe me to speak for him. But on all seriousness, this gentleman worked with us both on and off the throne. He tirelessly works behind the scenes, 90% of the times without even any notice. Almost all the time without any thanks. Because they don't even know who to thank for the way things work. He's worked with us in very difficult times while we sat the thrones. He has counseled with us when we were not on the throne, the times that he was having difficulties. And it has been an honor and a privilege to work with him, to speak with him, to seek his counsel. He is a bedrock for his kingdom. He is a wonderful gentleman, and he is a boon to not only the Pelicans, but to this kingdom as a whole. And it was an honor to call him my friend.
Thank you.
I met Cormac at a golf course some years ago. And I will just say that that meeting was memorable. I will not go into specifics because, let's be frank, ladies and gentlemen, I could never do the account of that meeting justice. You will have to ask him about that later. And I suggest you do, because I think he would actually be very happy to recount that moment, wouldn't you, dear? But since that day, and the many years that have followed, I have been so fortunate to meet this man, time after time. And every single time, thank you, Your Majesty. He is unfailing in his commitment and his effort to serve this kingdom. No matter how vast the void, no matter how passing and simple the request, it is his one and only wish to do good works. I would dream to have a tenth of your character, a tenth of your heart, and hopefully one day I will. Your Majesty, as we talk about the dream all the time, this thing, this ideal, where kindness and honor and truth wins every day. And I am so fortunate that I meet people who make that dream true. But this man, he makes me want to hold on to that dream just a little tighter. It is a debt I will never be able to repay. Your Majesty, he has no force and absolute enforcement. And thank you for your
Thank you, Your Grace.
Your Grace says, Your Excellencies, thank you for your kind words. There are other voices from this kingdom that we would hear to advise us about Cormac. Is there a member of the Order of the Chivalry who would speak for him?
Majesty, Your Highness, brothers and sisters of the Pelican, populace, I am Duke Sir John the Bear Killer, called the Bastard. I have had the honor and duty to be a knight of the society for over 35 years. As I've grown older, I've learned a great deal about the defense of the kingdom. There are indeed always barbarians at our gate. So what we have with the knights, the chivalry are those that go on the field, defend the kingdom, fight for the ladies, fight for the crowd, fight for everything we believe in. But one thing I've learned through the many decades is that there are other ways to defend your kingdom and what you believe in than stepping upon the field. Uther, His Majesty, has demonstrated that. When you autocrat an event, when someone has stepped aside, you defend your kingdom. When you take the job that somebody else can enjoy an event, Gulf Wars, countless Great events, countless kingdom events, you defend your kingdom. More than a sword, more than an arm. When you ride security at night to keep the drunks off the road, you defend your kingdom just as strongly as when the army of Glenavon or the knights take the field. There are many things we defend ourselves against. This man has stood for all of us in a huge number of ways to defend the kingdom, to defend the crown, to defend all of us. Defense is not just in your arm, it is in your mind, it is in your legs, and it is in your heart. And everything we believe in, this man has fought for as strongly as the greatest fighters I've ever had the honor of watching in the world. You fight for that. You fight for us so that we do not lose what we have, so we do not denigrate down into what we could be. You stand in front of everything for us, for everybody, so we can sleep at night in events, so we can eat at events. Everyone who serves defends their kingdom. And Cormac, you are, God is my witness. You are my peer, and you are my equal. And you have been that way for a long time. And I thank you sincerely. On my knees, if I could get them, and make sure I could get back up. For what you have done, and more importantly, for what you will do for the crown and for Glenavon. Because without you and every other person who defends our kingdom, we are nothing and we fall. And you make sure that we do not fall. God love you. I respect you. And I love you. And I thank you.
Is there another voice from the chivalry that we should hear from?
Your Majesties, if I may. And I, ladies and gentlemen, am Sir Martin von Augsburg, and I have been a knight for 5 months. In some small part, thanks to this man and his inspiration. Duke John the Bear Killer has spoken to you of this man's prowess in standing as a defender of this kingdom. And prowess is incredibly important. In the many hours that this man has slaved away for us, it's amazing. But there are other chivalric virtues, and he displays all of them. He's got a sense of justice that is unparalleled. He has franchise. He takes a noble bearing. He has courage. Oh, does he have courage? And humility, sometimes. No, that's not true. He's an amazingly humble man that holds it inside and gives you an outward shell. But when I think of my friend Cormac, and he is a great friend of mine, I think of the chivalric virtue of faith. And that he believes deeply that he serves a higher purpose than himself. And that he holds to that, and he understands that what we do is not just a pastime or a hobby or a game. It is something greater than ourselves. And he places all of his labors in that context, and all of his labors towards that purpose. Because even the greatest prowess on the field, without that faith, is just another martial art. It is mere thuggery. The arts without that faith are beautiful and soulless objects. The greatest Works without that faith are self-aggrandizement and hollow hubris. But with that deep and abiding faith in what we do, even the smallest and simplest works take on huge implications. And he's done all these great works, but those small things that he has always done, those countless troll hours, the gifting of a chain to a squire that's kind of having a spell. But the favorite thing that he does that has always struck me is when I'm shaking off another 7 or 8 hour car ride and I crawl up to the troll booth. Almost always there is my friend, and he is welcoming me home. Your Majesties, this is my friend Cormac the Bald, and it is my high honor, slight amusement, and deep, deep joy to tell you that he is indeed my peer, and this is a great and just thing that you do.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Mark. Nobly said, as I would expect. You do not serve the laurels. You do not serve the chivalry. You do not even serve your own circle. The Pelican. You serve each and every member of this populace. I would hear now the words of that populace. For without you, we cannot rule. For without you, we have nothing. Is there a member of this populace that would speak for this man who stands before us?
Your Majesties, Your Highnesses, I'm Ariadne de Ravenna. I come before you today to tell you of the great works and great service that I've seen this man, my friend, perform. I've known Cormac for over 6 years. In that time, he has always been a tireless worker. He could often be found working late into the night after everyone else had gone to bed. Over the years, I have witnessed enormous growth in leadership, and I've been astounded at his ability to motivate others and get them working together towards a common goal. Beyond his great service, I know this man to be true of heart and a noble soul. We've worked together many times, and I have learned a great deal from his example. He is a great asset to this kingdom. He is my friend. And beyond all, in my eyes, he is a peer of the realm. Thank you, Your Ladyship.
Thank you. There must be others who would speak for this man.
Your Majesty, I would speak. He didn't say any bad words this time. I'm in Tree, and this man to the populace of this kingdom, we look to our peers to guide us, to give us advice, to give us direction. This man does that for us, no matter who we are, what our title is, where in this kingdom we live. He always has time for us, and he always has a word or two to give us. And he has a wicked sense of humor. As I learned this kingdom church, which he can tell you about later, I can identify with the Duchess. But I wish you to know that as the populace looks to our peers for all that, this man has fulfilled that for us, especially for those who may be a little intimidated to talk to the first. He promotes the populace of this kingdom. He offers advice. And personally, more important to me, is he is my very, very dear friend. Oh, and no one, not even your Majesty, I'm sorry, loves this kingdom more than this man does and his talk about that news. So we look at him as a peer of this kingdom. He's on.
There are others who would speak.
I thought I could do this without my notes. Obviously, I don't need to recount all the menial tasks and all the work that you do. I think the order itself has done that by having you stand here. I think you have to be relatively new to our dream to not recognize you for all the work that you have done. So what else can I offer? Well, I want to mention a quality that Sir John touched on, but he didn't quite use the word that I would use. You will not find this man on a heavy weapons tournament field. You won't find him on a light weapons field. But here today on this Tournament of Champions, I want those to see qualities that I see in him as a champion. You may not wield a sword or carry a foil in defense of our kingdom or your lady, but your actions raise you to the ranks of any victor on any field. You serve as a leader and a mentor. You welcome new members as if they've always been. I'm sure there's quite a few people here that could attest to that fact. You do not sit quietly when injustice is done. Because you are honorable and good, and you do not like to see injustice. You do everything in your might to correct the injustice, or to try to serve in a capacity to stop it from happening again. While doing so, you are very careful not to spread gossip or create similar harm. When an injustice or a situation is beyond your control, you give support with a kind heart, a listening ear, gentle words, and wise counsel. Your friendship, support, and leadership have been my champion many times throughout the years. 3 years ago, you participated in the ceremony for the elevation of James the Holy. You shared an honor that I now have today. At the end of the day, you mentioned, actually you kind of wrote it, that you wished you could bottle that feeling or condense it into a pill so that you would always have it in times when you started to get that feeling of what the dream is about. Well, I want you to remember this. This is the dream. Us recognizing you for living the dream.
Thank you.
As a peer, you do not represent just the populace. of this, the fairest kingdom of all. You represent the populace of all kingdoms. It would be our wish to hear the words from the populace of their kingdoms.
Your Majesties, Your Highnesses, Glenavon. I hate Bjortrick, son of Folkqueen. I am a lion of Ansteora. I bear the order of the laurel as well. My sister spoke eloquently. Frequently in Ansteoran courts, the lion speaks last. It's a very, very difficult thing to do because we hear every other members of the peerages take our words. The traditional greeting of decades past, of the older lions to the newest, is a raking blow from shoulder to hip. Your Majesties, I'm not going to say anything. This man is.
Your Majesty, I believe that our decision has been confirmed. Who speaks from the Order of the Pelican for this man?
Your Majesties, I'm Jane Beaumont. As my friend the Earl said, everyone has taken the words, even those words. I'll do numbers. Over 11 years ago, I met my friend Cormac at his first event. And he was working full at his first event. We've been fast friends ever since. Kindred spirits. Smartasses on it. He has autocrated for us over 10 events at this time. Autocrated 4 to 5 more. Co-autocrated someone else, teaching them how to autocrat. He's taught several classes on autocrating. At least 6 years he has served as a Gulf Wars active leader and been remanded by Mistress Christina, never touched the catfish.
I told her I couldn't.
Yes, still. He has held, I believe, 3 offices in your fund bearing, and the highest office at this point, Seneschal, which I'm told is an incredible job to do. Back to me. Kingdom offices, war offices, having cat and wrangled a party, an annual party of war, fundraising for those parties, for your kingdom, for your barony to build go forth, all the many gifts that you've made as tokens to people who helped you work all the events. My friend, good populace.
Robert Salos, called Blueswasser by everybody. I have some words and I have a gift. 2 weeks ago, noticed their highnesses needed wedges for their thrones, so I offered to make some. And as I was contemplating Cormac, it occurred to me that these are a lot like the pockets. They're not much more than just bits of wood, but I had each one signed. So each one of these is unique. Each one will serve in its time. Most will fall by the wayside, and some will last. This is one that I took the pattern.
This is Cormac's.
You're my brother. You're my peer.
Your Grace. As his sponsor, would you speak words for this man in front of this court, in front of this people?
Cormac, you're not as eloquent as a lot of your other friends. I've written a few things. It's not very long, but it's definitely heartfelt. And I hope you will excuse me for reading. Like the pelican who nurtures her young with the blood of her body, work for others, work for the good of others, can be tiring and at times painful. But such dedication, given freely, nurtures our hearts, hopes, and dreams so that we all share in the enjoyment of life in our dear, dear kingdom. Cormac has grown beyond a student and become a person worthy of peerage. As such, it is now time to give up the yellow belt. Held by the protege, I'm honored that you wore my belt. And I'm going to give it back to you so that you can give it to your Your work for the people of Glenavon was done out of the kindness of your heart and a love of your kingdom. And I know you will continue this attitude as you now serve as a peer of the realm. You are my dear friend. And you are my peer.
The peers and the people of this kingdom have spoken. They have spoken loudly, and they have spoken clearly, and they have spoken with joy in their voice. You do not wear the trappings of a Sorry, bud, it's about to get hot. Is there a mantle for this cannon?